Hello, I am here today to talk to you a little bit about what I am seeing going on in the world based on the coaching calls that I've been having with leaders from all levels of organizations. So today I want to continue on the topic that I have been talking about a lot recently, which is communication. So as I've been saying, people are working incredibly hard throughout the ranks to make sure that they're doing their part in keeping the company afloat during these really difficult times. People are still experiencing a lot of stress. Of course, COVID-19 and the economic crisis is still causing people a great deal of concern, and people are working so hard to do their part in, planking the curve. So thank you to all of those of you who are doing your part in hand sanitizing, wearing your mask when you're in public places, and doing what you can to stay at home, shelter in place, and keep yourselves and everyone around you safe. So thank you for that. And I know it's a huge preoccupation, and it takes its toll. It causes stress, and that stress can be exhausting. What we also have to keep in mind is while we're trying to keep the workplace afloat, that we can't let this stress overwhelm us, and we can't allow it to be an excuse not to communicate effectively. So I'm hearing a lot of comments come through right now that people are starting to feel that they're being left out of the loop, they're being underutilized, they're not being consulted on matters where they could really add a lot of value. So I know, everyone's working from home. We don't always think of, looping people into the conversation when every conversation needs to be an organized meeting. We don't have the opportunity right now to do the traditional, hey, you got a minute, can I take you for a coffee? I want to chat something through with you. And it's not a bad thing that we can't do that, because interrupting people constantly when you need to chat something through, without an appointment, is not effective either. So what I'm seeing is people are feeling underutilized. There are conversations taking place where they should have been consulted, they should have been informed, and they should have had the opportunity to contribute to the solution that was being sought at the time. So before I go any further, let me just take a second to introduce myself. I am Corey Robertson, and I'm the founder of the Coaching Academy for Leaders, where we help managers develop coaching skills so that they can communicate better, they can give feedback better, they can brainstorm with each other in a more effective way, and they can give it their all in an easier and more effective fashion. Coaching is proving time and again to be the most effective coaching skill, and that's what I teach. I share my knowledge that I have acquired all these years of coaching, and bringing it into the workplace. So the next piece that I want to talk about, I want to just share an example with you on how communication is breaking down. So recently, my husband and I, we went out to buy a new car, and we went to several lots, and we were noticing that so much has been put into online shopping, and there's still an element of in-person shopping. So what we were finding when we were visiting these dealerships is that there was a disconnect between what the experience that the customer is expecting, because nobody knows anymore how to go about purchasing things, getting service, being a good customer. So we're all doing our best. So we went out to try to find a new vehicle, and we were confronted time and time again with glitches where we would call in advance and inquire about a vehicle because it was posted online, and then we'd get there and the vehicle wasn't available, or was already sold even though it was listed as available. It was just a total nightmare. And so what this tells me is that organizations, it's not just the automotive industry. I'm sure it's all industries. This is just an example that I'm sharing with you to highlight what's happening. Companies worked so hard and tried so hard to reopen their doors, put their people back to work, and provide their services and their products to the market, which is fantastic. And thank you for that. I'm sure there were many, many, many sleepless nights on getting these boots on the ground so that people could go back to buying what they need and people could go back to working. So that's fantastic. And I'm not criticizing. I'm just sharing that there are glitches along the way that's causing the customer frustration, and it's causing delays in the process. So I want to share a little bit that I learned from the Four Seasons Hotel. And what they do is they have something called the glitch list. So the glitch list means that at any point along the way, if a customer experiences some sort of a snag in experiencing the service or the purchasing experience, it gets noted. And it's not that anybody gets in trouble if the customer experiences a snag. It's just that every week these snags are evaluated by the management team. It gives the management team an opportunity to track the trends of where the snags are happening. And it shows them where they need to go back and clean up their processes or their procedures. Okay, it's not to say that anybody, along the way, any of the employees get in trouble for causing the snag. They actually get thanked for revealing the snag. And then when the customer comes back, or you can invite the customer back, you can acknowledge them and you can say, and this is part of the glitch list, is every step along the way as the customer is continuing to move through the customer journey, you can acknowledge them for what they experienced. You can thank them for their loyalty, and you can, make a promise that you're working harder to provide a really positive experience for them. So the point is that right now, as everybody is scrambling for a new normal, people are working so hard to keep the companies running, employees are working so hard to learn a new way of work, a new way of service. It's impossible to expect that everything is going to fall into place beautifully. Snags and glitches are par for the course. It's normal. What you do with the information is really your magic opportunity to elevate yourself as a leader in society. Share what you're learning with your employees. Keep the communication open, and remember to bring people into the conversation. Sit down. Perhaps you can use the RACI matrix. You can look that up. It's quite a popular model for communication and a little bit of high-level project planning. It stands for a responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. If you Google that, you'll find loads and loads and loads of resources and templates on how to set that up. But basically, it makes it clear on every single step of the way who is responsible for certain tasks. That means who's going to do it, who's accountable, so who ultimately is going to answer for what went right and what went wrong. Who needs to be consulted, and who needs to be kept in the loop, who needs to be informed. So this is a really, really great way of keeping the communication flowing to all the people who need to be involved. I did note that in a recent resource that I created. So if you're interested in learning more about how to lead virtual teams, I do have a resource that I can share with you, and I mentioned it in my last live, and you can find it at the on my website at the end of every blog post that I write. My blogs are at CoreyRobertson.com/resources. So I hope that this announcement, this live video has helped. I hope it's given you a little bit of insight, maybe something to think about with regards to how you're communicating and how you are taking feedback about the customer experience and using it to strengthen your new processes and procedures. Comments are always appreciated. When you leave a comment, it really goes a long way in helping these messages get to the people who need to hear them the most. Please feel free to share. Go ahead and click share on the feed and send it to somebody in a private message if you think that they need to hear this, or if you think it's a great way to open up a conversation about what you can do at your company. So thanks for your time today. I really appreciate that you were here. Once again, I am Corey Robertson, and I help managers learn coaching as a leadership style. See you soon.